All right, hey everyone. Today we're in a cheese cave joining you, and we're going to learn about how all this cheese is made. Got my new friend Craig here, and he's going to show us how it's done.
All right, let's go.
This is Craig and Marie, and they've been at work on their community dairy farm making some delicious dairy products, including their award-winning cheeses for the last 5 years. Hope you'll stick around to see this inspiring place that they get to call home. And to get started, we're going to be following Craig into his lab for his morning routine.
This season, this is the third day of production.
Okay.
So usually this is quite filled, but we only have a couple of cows milking right now. So
Cool.
So this is
How many is that? A couple?
a couple. I think we've got. Well, there's about 20 being milked right now.
Yeah.
But some of them just gave birth, so they have colostrum in their milk, so we can't use that.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is maybe about 180 liters. So we had about 18 cows in this year today. For Schwarzy, he's a Hereford, and it's a good meat cow, and he does sort of the cleanup and gives us.
That help you sell the males that you don't keep for more because they're a good meat cow?
Yeah, males and females of the sort of Hereford mix. Those are obviously cows that can't stay on the farm because, I mean, people don't always realize this, but to have milk, you have to have a calf every year.
Yep.
So, 74 cows, we can't double our population every year. So, most of the cows will leave the farm, and we keep about 6, and they stay with us each year. And it's about 2 years before they're ready to start joining the milking herd.
Yeah. And how old can a cow still give birth?
Oh, cows can not easily, but they can live up to about 20 years. We have 15-year-old cows. I just saw, there's Extas over here, she's over there, but she's 15, I think. So they can keep going for a while. That said, the average lifespan of a dairy cow here in France is 5 years. We're at about 9.5 years as of last year, and each year that keeps going up. Our cows tend to stay around a while.
Yeah, so the way you're doing it is helping them live a better life, a better life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number one thing above all else on this farm is the well-being of the cows, and that's it's an ethical decision, but it's also an economic decision too. They stay on the farm, they keep producing, and
Cool.
Works out for everybody.
And they're pregnant for 9 months?
like humans.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just about the same.
Yeah.
And they're pregnant for a good portion of the year while they're still milking, and then we dry them off for the winter. Mm-hmm. We all kind of go into hibernation mode. Hopefully we've produced enough cheese to make it through the winter.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea behind a lot of cheese is storing milk over the winter period.
Yeah. And you age cheese here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a cheese cave. And most of what we produce, we do a lot of cheddar.
Yeah.
Monterey Jack type cheese, which is called the Jacques. Mm-hmm. Jack in Breton is Jacques.
Okay.
And then we do a bunch of Tome fresh cheeses. We started making yogurts recently when Marie joined me on the farm. Mm-hmm. So basically the process today is there's the milking parlor over there, and usually, depending on who's making the cheese, either Marie or I are in there helping out with the milking. Milk comes direct into the vat from the milking, which is like the dream for cheese makers. You have warm, fresh, raw milk, and goes into the vat. We add our ferments, we wait a little bit, add the rennet, which does the coagulation, cut the curds. With these kind of cheeses, particularly the Monterey Jack style cheese and the cheddar, it gets brewed. The goal being to drain the whey out of the curd. And then it goes here where we're salting it, and eventually it's going in molds over there. And that's our little drying room or heating room, which keeps the cheeses warm overnight. Most of our cheeses need to stay in there overnight. And they'll stay in there, and then we take them out usually the next day and put them in the cave. And then from there they'll age minimum 60 days or even 7-8 months. The yogurt's relatively new for us. It's when Marie started working with me.
Is this like vanilla or?
Yeah, it's vanilla, real vanilla. A lot of people make their vanilla yogurts with vanilla aroma, but this is real, like the good stuff.
Yeah.
we try not to work in the lab too much at the same time. It's good for the couple.
Yeah. Get some free space.
Yeah.
So once they give birth, then they get to go out, and so then all the milk that you're getting and they're producing is off of the fresh grass out in the field.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And for most of the season, we're working with grass. It depends each year what the weather's like, but around about the beginning of August, sometimes late July, if it's a little dry, we start giving them hay to supplement it, and that changes the milk a little bit. And we go from there. And we work with the seasons. The cheeses made in the spring are different a bit from the cheeses made in the summer and the cheeses made in the fall. And that's we're not an industrial production here. We like working with the seasons and let the cheese kind of do their thing with the season. I think the interesting thing here we do is we use primarily native ferments, and so there's this interaction of what's in the soil. We the farm here, we pay attention to the quality of the soil, which leads to the quality of the grass, and the microbes that come with what the cows eat and how they live. Yeah. And the milk that's produced creates a much better quality milk for cheese making. Yeah. And then the difference between grass and hay, there's more material carbs. It creates a fatter milk with the hay. No, with the hay. There's a lot more water in the grass. Oh, okay. So there's this richness that you get with the grass.
A little more concentrated.
Almost a sweeter taste, quite nice.
Cool.
When it gets to the hay, it's actually for cheese making, it becomes a little bit easier to manage because it's a little bit more variable when they're on grass alone. Yeah. There's an advantage to each season of cheese making. It's a fun part of it. You really get these nice fresh cheeses, and it's and we always talk about aging cheese more and more, and thinking more affinage is better. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the cheese. There's something nice about those young cheeses in the spring, and that's what we have, because by the time the spring's really rolling around, we don't have much stock left over from the winter, and so they're young cheeses. But you really get that nice, delicious milkiness, and you get that taste of the pasture. Then in the summer, we start really ramping up our cheddar production, and most of the cheddars that we'll be eating right around now, that are aged about 7-8 months, they have quite a nice complexity with the aging, but they're also can produce.
And is that a different ferment, a different culture to make the different cheeses?
Well, we're using whey for the most part. We're using whey from the previous production. So you're carrying over the ferments from the previous production, but it's also what the cows are eating, and so the microbes that are on their teeth, the nipples, when they're producing, and so it changes over the season. There's a seasonality to that, but there's also what's in the milk. It's a very rich milk at the beginning of the season after they've just calved. And then it changes over time. The milk production increases, then it descends again. At the end of the season, it's a very fatty milk, and you get some of those really delicious creamy cheese, but also stronger cheeses. It's not for everybody, but it's good cheese.
And you said like local or native ferments, and that's to the Brittany region or to France in general?
I mean, native to our farm, because we do au levain, sort of spontaneous starters. To start that off, you would take milk and you would ferment the milk by itself about at room temperature until it coagulates, and you do that over a couple times to make sure you're getting rid of bad bacteria.
Gotcha.
The quicker it acidifies, the better. Prevent the likelihood of listeria, salmonella, things like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, where do you want to take me next?
We can stop at the cheese cave in a minute.
Behind us, we have part of the cheese cave. Is right over there?
Yeah, it's right behind over there.
Right behind over
There's
there.
There's an old building structure here. This is an old cour de ferme, old farmhouse, basically.
Old farmhouse, the bakery, and then you have
the cheese cave is on the other side of where the bakery is.
Okay.
And right over here, we have the brewery. And there's two brewers that joined together. Gwen, who is the Mignon, has been with us for years now. Yeah. And John from the Brasserie Merlot joined us last year.
My name is John.
John?
I'm from north of France.
Yeah.
And my co-workers is Gwen.
When? Yeah.
Yeah. So we worked together for about a year. Barley, wheat, rye. So we take this, we mix the barley and water together, and it goes here. That's the mash tune. So you let the barley infused about an hour. And when it's finished, it goes through the heat exchanger. You make the temperature going down very fast to 80 to 20 degrees Celsius.
Yep.
And then it goes in the fermenting vessel. For one beer, it will stay in a tank. It will stay here for about a month. Different range of temperatures. And after a month, it's completely finished for most of the beer. So you can take a clean beer here.
Yep.
And here is all the yeast and the hops.
The extra that you don't want.
That will
compact.
Yeah, compact during the cold rest.
Cold rest. Okay. Yeah.
3-4 degrees. You will keep it for 48 or 72 hours, and then we can bottling it. So we had more sugar, and then we put it in bottles with this one. We transferred it in like an oat room. 25 degrees, and then a second fermentation will take place for 7 days, something like that.
So the warmth helps the fermentation.
Yeah, the yeast will work around 20 degrees. And then it goes there and it goes to the
stores. Yeah. Awesome. I really appreciate you doing that in English. Thank you. Yeah, any contact, and we'll put it in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, we'll put it in
Facebook, Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. We'll put it all below just as we share your stuff.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Wow.
So we have here Maël's little lateria where she makes bread, and it's wood fired, and the wood she uses is the wood that Jean-Francois, one of the farmers here, cuts and supplies her. So that wood is super local. She's making her production for today. She'll do another production tomorrow.
And where does she sell?
She sells here on the farm. There's a cafe another town over where she'll do a market tonight. And then she'll...
Which is like 20 minutes.
20 minutes from here.
Yeah, all local.
Wow.
Sells out pretty easily.
Yeah, by the smell of it, you can tell. And you sell cheese right from here.
Yeah, so this is, it's a mess right now. Because we're going to be preparing orders this afternoon.
This is the shop.
And you take them, you deliver?
Yeah, we do everything.
So people can kind of come here for like a little local market.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little local market.
Bread from the baker, cheese from you guys, now yogurt, and then beer from over there.
Yeah, exactly. And people can come and get milk.
Cool.
This is a cheesecake. It's going to be a little strong in here because, well, some of the cheeses are a little overripe at this point because it's the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I haven't been here much today, so it's going to burn the eyes a little bit.
It is a little stinky.
And then we do our Monterey Jacks, which I don't have very much of. These are very aged Monterey Jacks. They've got some really wild champignon mushroom going on them now. It's a different cheese than it was 4 months ago, and that's really cool. It's quite a bit stronger. Really interesting cheese right now, actually.
And you clean it or scrub it off, or you just cut it as is? And
no, these I'll probably brush them off once they come out of the cave. But for right now, they can just I let them keep going wild. Sometimes I try to brush some cheeses, but it depends. And this is where the natural ferments or native ferments really become interesting because they really start adding quite a bit of complexity at this age, and there's really interesting things going on in those cheeses. Those are pretty cool cheeses. Cool. Literally the first little production of cheese this season. Usually when we make this cheese, we'll make about 24 cheeses at a time, roughly, and so here it's just about 6. So we're still at a very small end of the production. This is just a simple little tone.
Because you're kind of waiting for the milk cows to get up to production.
Yeah, we only have about a quarter of the milk, the cows milking right now, so quarter of the amount of cheese,
And you're using all of it to make cheese, or is it some of it's going to?
Some of it goes to the laiterie cooperative.
Okay.
So we take the morning milk to produce, and once there's enough milk, we take a little bit of the evening milk for the yogurts. But the rest on the weekends and stuff like that, it goes to a cooperative, which is nice for us because so we're not under pressure to produce every day. We can actually have some time off if we're sick. We don't have to worry about milk getting wasted.
Yeah, the rest will all go to them.
Yeah, this is I think it's spruce in English. Epicea.
Spruce.
And just again, local wood. This is a local wood producer just down over. Everything we can do, we work locally, and so they cut the wood exactly to our measurements, and this wood's been with us for a few years now, and it'll keep going with us. We age on wood boards. People also age on plastic. I like that too. I'm not particularly partial. The nice thing about wood is it helps regulate the humidity and temperature, or humidity really. Pretty strong in it.
Yeah,
Even for me.
definitely.
You like it?
Emily loves cheddar too.
I love cheddar. I love like an Irish cheddar. Like the aged
A
one.
little bit sour.
A little bit sour.
That's good.
Oh, that's great.
I gotta learn how to make cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
Cheddar's a good cheese to make. It's got to age a while. That's the one thing. And it's quite physical later in the day, that much, but
I said cheddar takes the longest day.
yeah, it's a long day of work.
She was saying, I was like, why don't you take like the cream and make sell cream or ice cream or things like that? And she said, you want to keep a lot of the cream for the cheese.
You can take a little cream out of the cheese, but you lose in quality.
Yeah.
A lot of people definitely do that.
And I know this, 3 months you said, this cheddar?
It was about 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months? But like, when you think of cheddar, I don't think you think this creamy.
And this is a blue using This is all what's actually naturally in the milk.
It's one of the better blue cheeses I've had in my life.
Well, I like it because it's not too strong, not too French piquant. I don't know. It's got a nice little sweetness to it.
I like it. What do you think, Otto?
I don't eat a lot of blue cheese. I don't have much to compare it to. But it tastes good.
Yeah, I do like.
I feel like in America we're used to blue cheese being like a dressing. Like I guess a dip,
Yeah.
Like it's always like when you get like buffalo wings, you always have blue cheese dip.
That's good too. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a sweet, like almost like a little bit of like a goaty
Yeah.
flavor. Like
Yeah,
goat
but the
milk
cool thing is with these natural cheeses, they give you more of almost, even though it's cow milk, it often reminds people of like more sheep or goat cheeses. It's because it has that bit of complexity that you don't find in a lot of like more pasteurized cow cheeses.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right, I'll just stand next to you and
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah, exactly. That's what we need you here for.
Right?
Yeah, we got you and the baby cows behind us, the new ones that are producing all this milk. But I just want to say thank you to Craig and Marie for having us over, showing us all they're doing with pretty much the organic food commune that you guys have going on here, which is pretty awesome. You guys are kind of living, I think, people's dream, despite the amount of hard work that's going into it that you guys have showed us today. But just wanted to let you guys know that you guys can find them at their Facebook.
Yeah, Fromagerie de Trévarn.
Fromagerie Tavern.
De Trévarn.
De Trévarn. Yeah,
You got
close.
it.
Getting
You're
close.
getting it.
And so Facebook, anywhere else that we can find you?
Well, here on the farm, if you're ever out in Finistère in Brittany, France.
Yep, out
Love
here.
that.
Find their cheese, find their yogurt, and maybe other future products that are coming down the line.
Wonderful.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
the visit.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Okay, we just had our time with Craig and Marie and had a great time. Hope you guys learned something in this video. Emily wasn't in it as much because she had to watch this guy down here who's always keeping us busy. But we're going to be trying to keep getting more videos out as we move to our next spots. We're really excited to be in England, which we have a lot of farmers to film there and homesteaders and people. Emily's been reaching out to tons of them, getting a good list.
And Wales.
And
too.
Wales too, which is next. So excited for that, grateful for today, and hopefully we all learned something. You guys can check videos over here for the next one you want to watch. And please subscribe if you want to keep watching this journey. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.